Welcome back to the Couch Casuals. We're here. We're about to break down the previous BMF card, UFC 291. It's a banger. I think it's time to roll. We're going to start with Michael Chiesa versus Kevin Holland. Robert, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts, if you watched, I don't know what program it was on. I want to say DC and RC. Michael Chiesa, rather. He went on there and he goes, Kevin Holland has a nice Darce choke. You guys know Darce chokes are my weakness. And what does he get caught with, Kyle?
A Darce choke.
A,
They talk, yeah. He got him.
He called it.
It's so crazy when that happens. And it seems to happen a lot in the fight game where like someone will be talking about some shit and then it happens.
Well, you have a DC where it's the first sit down Q&A press conference he does with John Jones. He goes, "You think you're going to get me with that left high kick. You're not going to get me with that." And then in the second fight,
exactly what happened.
Yep.
Or doesn't Ronda call the same shit when Holly kicks her?
Oh, I believe so.
I think Ronda says something to that same extent
you're going to kick me in the head. You're
Yeah, and she kicks the taste out of her mouth.
Whoa. You don't have to be that explicit. It's one of your favorite knockouts.
It's probably top 5 for sure.
We need to do that. One show.
Yeah.
I don't really have much to say on that fight other than
it was pretty short.
Michael Chiesa called it. Kevin Holland is a gangster.
Kevin Holland looked so good in that fight, and I'm glad he got the win.
How long was that layoff of Chiesa? Do you know?
What was it? 2 years? I think it was 2 years.
It looked like it. It looked like it.
Long time. He took his gloves off after the fight. I thought he was going to retire. Did he retire?
I don't.
He didn't. They didn't talk to him.
I don't think so. But usually, there's a good send off when you do retire like that.
There's a trend in this pay-per-view where at the end of each fight, I thought somebody was going to retire possibly. At least the first 4 fights.
Oh yeah, of the main card this last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. We'll get into it, but yeah, I kept thinking that someone was going to retire every fight.
Now, we both picked Holland, right? Because I told you Chiesa was going to try some sloppy intros or some sloppy entries rather to some kind of takedown. Kevin Holland's no joke. He's going to beat you up on the feet. He's going to beat you up on the feet, and then he's a Travis Lutter black belt. What are you going to do to him? You going to wrestle him? Okay, good luck.
Unless you're Hamzat.
You're not Hamzat, though.
Hey, my guess is not Hamzat.
He's not Hamzat. 2 years old. Even something crazy.
That's a tough fight. That's a tough fight to take off 2 years.
You have to be active. I think Kevin Holland fights at an average of every 96 days. I saw that stat somewhere. That's a casual stat. I read that somewhere.
It sounds right.
He fights every 3 months. How many months are in a year, Kyle?
I think 12.
Roughly.
Give or take.
A little bit of here and there. But Kevin Holland fights as much as he possibly can.
He does.
And
he's a dog.
Takes any fight.
He's a savage. He's a savage.
Can't give him enough praise. Shout out to Kevin Holland. Thank you for solidifying our casual pick?
Yeah. He locked it in for us.
That being said, let's go on to the next fight. You have Tony R.I.P. Ferguson versus Bobby King
Green. Robert, remind me, what were our picks on this fight?
I had Bobby King Green.
No, roll the tape back.
No.
We had Tony Ferguson.
I did.
And Bobby King Green.
You, this week, get BR. You get bragging rights because you made a pick with your head, right?
I did. I didn't listen to my heart. I thought about it. Tony is just
Well, what did I do? You did with your head. What did I do?
you with your heart. We've all been there. I'll do it. You'll do it. It'll happen again. But let me just list the stats from
Sure.
this fight because
Sure.
it's just not pretty.
Oh,
Tony Ferguson, the man who went on a 12-fight winning streak,
no.
lost to Bobby
Well,
Green.
he became the interim lightweight champion,
He
right?
did become the interim. What, twice? Didn't it happen like
I
twice
think he
almost?
did it. Well, no. I think the second time he fought for it, it was against Justin Gaethje. I'm not sure. Like,
Okay. Yeah. It's the most tragic career I think you could say at the top of the UFC. He landed only 54 significant strikes to Bobby's 137.
oh man.
Bobby just
Pa, pa,
he
pa,
just
pa.
was
Piece
he was just in and out. He was like bah, bah,
three
bah, bah.
times, three times the amount of strikes
3 times the amount of
on
strikes.
Tony Ferg.
Tony went for a couple Imanari rolls, would kind of get Bobby, but then Bobby would just boom, boom, just hammer fisting with some of those brutal hammer fists I've ever seen. And then he gets the choke out.
It's round 3.
Round 3,
How
7 seconds to go.
I was about to ask you how many seconds were left.
7. Tony could have. He gets choked out
Old
by
Tony,
Bobby Green.
old Tony.
Old Tony's not in that position at
He's
all.
answering the phone. It's a head and arm triangle, right?
Yeah.
Head and arm choke. He's answering the phone. He's doing everything. You see his legs kick up, and I'm like, you got it. Just get to a decision. It's not gonna
Just
be
last.
that bad if you just get
last. But no. Poor guy goes to sleep.
to.
Hey,
R.I.P. Tony Ferguson's career.
he wants to continue fighting, but at what point?
What
At
do you
what
give
point,
him?
as fans and as Dana White, do you say enough's enough, Tony?
Well, Dana White, you got to be near and dear to his heart because he'll wring you like a rag.
He really will.
Because Chuck Liddell, he's like, hey, you got to get out. Like, you got to get up out of here. Tony Ferguson?
Yeah.
Tony Ferguson, he's not that old. He's not that old, but he is.
In fighting years, he's up there. I mean, he's 26-9. He's had a lot of fights. 26-9, meaning just a year or two ago, it was 26-3. It's just
How long are we gonna mourn Tony Ferg? Let's
probably every time we see him fight. If we're being honest, he's 39.
shout out to Bobby Green, Bobby
It was a good
King
fight.
Green. And that's all I have to say. I think it was a very sloppy performance for somebody as like going into a Tony Ferguson fight. If you fight Tony Ferguson, you better expect the most unorthodox opponent that you've ever faced in your life. And Bobby King Green was there. He was attentive. He was everything that he needed to be to beat one of the oldest, but one of the most cemented fighters in the lightweight division.
Yeah.
Like, what? Shout out to Bobby Green. That's all I can say. I'm not trying to
Shout out.
I'm not trying to take down Tony, but I am trying to uplift Bobby Green. If you guys don't know who Bobby Green is, you should now. Or
Now you know.
let's.
I
go to
mean,
the, okay. Any
No, I was just gonna say-
closing thoughts?
Yeah, this is another fight where I thought Tony should have just got up and taken the gloves off and
Mm.
been done.
What is
But
he gonna do? Work at a Dunkin' Donuts? What
he
can
probably doesn't need to do anything. Run a school,
hey, you don't.
train.
They get nice taxes. They get nice taxes as far as like they get
There you
taxed
go.
a good bit. So it's like, how much money does he really have? And that's not me to say. I'm not trying to reach into Tony Ferg's pockets, but like, what is he gonna do? What can you see that guy doing?
Not much.
He's got to fight.
I think he's going to come on the couch casuals and be our third coast.
I mean, if that's what he wants to do, I don't know how much we'll get out
Come
of
on,
him.
Tony. Come on, Tony.
This is an open invitation to Tony Ferguson.
Yes.
You are always
Open
welcome.
invitation.
You are always welcome on the
You always
couch
got a spot
casuals.
here on the couch with us.
Come chill on the couch.
Come hang out on the couch.
Come take some time off and come chill on the casual couch.
Yes.
Okay. That being
But
said,
yeah, right. It's time to move on
On to the next fight. We
to the
have
most
Steven.
hilarious fight.
We have Steven Wonderboy Thompson versus Michel Pereira.
No, we don't.
No, we don't. Oh!
Michel misses weight by 3 pounds, and Steven does the smart thing and rejects the overweight fight. It sucks, but
This is a PSA. Fuck Michel Pereira. How about that? How about you're in the top MMA organization of the world, dude, and you miss by 3 pounds?
there needs to be bigger
Consequences.
consequences for missing weight.
Of
It's
course.
becoming like every card there's at least 1 or 2 guys missing weight. And I get it. That shit's tough, and it's probably not the healthiest thing to be doing.
Why are you so
But
big? What are you so big for? You bully? You cutting 20 pounds just to...
if you can't cut the weight, you need to be in another weight class.
Period. And I hear they're not even trying to pay Wonder Boy for his show money.
I've seen that too. He seems confident Dana will pay him, but I guess we'll see.
Once he gets back from vacation, they're gonna talk to Dana. No. He showed up and he made the weight. That's the show money.
He made the weight. Don't even the backup fighters who make weight get paid?
Yes.
Yeah. So there just really shouldn't even be
It's not even up for discussion. Give
a
him
question
Give
here.
him his show money, and then give him 20% of Michel Pereira's show money.
Yeah.
That's what the clause is, or whatever. Don't do him like this. This guy has been here for you every step of the way. Even aside from the bias, he is my old coach. I really wanted to see him fight. Go back to the last video, and you can see that, I train a little bit.
Quick side note.
Go ahead.
Since Ron Steven Thompson, Kamaru called him out.
Mm-hmm.
Don't love the matchup for Steven, but Steven has accepted in the public. He said, I love that fight. So we could be getting Kamaru Usman versus Steven Thompson. Not loving that one for him.
His grappling is great. I'll tell you this firsthand. His grappling is great. I don't know if we see a Leon Edwards repeat, right?
Yeah.
Especially because there are just levels. So, shout out to Steven Wonderboy Thompson. I hope he gets paid. That fight did not happen. But shout out to our boy, Derrick Lewis.
Beast, who we called out for. He was undeservedly low on the prelims.
100%.
This fight being removed was a blessing for him. He gets pushed up, and he puts on the most hilarious show I've ever seen in the octagon. Throws a flying knee right out the gate and connects.
He didn't even want to do that.
Boom! He just said, I'm gonna throw some shit up and see if it connects.
Now, who was his opponent? DeLima?
Delusa. Dude, that guy, look. He's like,
be respectful.
We are.
He has loose.
We are.
He's talking about, I got all of my teeth are loose. I can't eat. That motherfucker's drinking milkshakes and shit. Like,
he said that after the fight?
yeah. He said all of my teeth are loose, and that's with a mouth guard. Because when you have a 280-pound monster flying at you,
throwing a knee,
dog, that's the last thing I would want to get hit with, and that's the last thing I would think that I would get hit with a guy like Derrick Lewis.
Like, Derrick Lewis is like, his last couple of fights have not looked great. He looked a little slow. He looked like he didn't want to be there.
Of course.
This fight, I mean, my God, he just turned the whole tables on that. Like, okay, so this is the third fight where I thought someone was going to retire because Derrick took the gloves off.
But he's a free
But his
agent.
contract is up. He's a free agent. So he cleared that up right away. But I thought he was about to retire on that fight.
Well, not only did he take his gloves off,
He took his pants off.
He took his fucking shorts off.
He took his pants off and hit the DX on
I
everybody.
think he threw his cup into the crowd.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
I know he threw the gloves in the crowd.
The cloud.
The cloud.
He threw the gloves for sure, but it's like He threw the cup too, and it's like,
Ugh.
well, you know what I would do if I caught it, right?
Cuppy?
I'm doing a cuppy. I'm.
That's foul. That'd be the foul. That'd be the grossest thing you could ever do.
You've been to a
That's
UFC event with me
disgusting.
before. I'll do a shoe in a heartbeat. I'm doing a cuppy. That being said, shout out to Derrick Lewis. Rightfully made the main card, as he should.
Yes.
Always an entertaining fight. Now, I understand where the UFC has to put entertaining fights in the prelims because it encourages you, it influences you to buy the pay-per-view, right? But he wasn't even the main spot on
Yeah,
the
he should have been the main
prelims.
spot. I mean, look, Bonfim is actually. I get why Bonfim is getting the respect and putting there because he's an entertaining fighter. I've seen him fight before. He's a younger guy.
Yeah.
He's 15-0. And I mean, he fucking snapped that guillotine up as fast as I've ever seen anybody snap a guillotine, and he just choked the dude out.
Mm-hmm.
But like the fight that kind of replaced Derrick's fight, the CJ Vergara, Vinicius Salvador, was probably the most boring fight I've ever seen. Not the most, but it was pretty bad.
Well, you also had Rose
And he
Namajunas
misplayed.
versus Carlos Esparza.
Yeah, that's the most boring fight of all time.
Oh, man,
sadly.
100%. Sorry, shout out to those ladies. Derrick with the abs. Did you see this
Derrick with
coming?
the abs. Yeah, no.
I didn't at all. He's a bigger
Dude
guy.
was shredded. He's a big dude.
Ready. He was ready. He wanted to send himself into free agency knowing, like, hey, I could do some damage. What's next for Derrick? Does he re-sign?
I'd like to see him re-sign, but I could also see him going somewhere like PFL.
To fight who?
Francis. The rematch.
Ngannou, Lewis.
It could happen.
2. He's getting a minimum of $2 million, win or lose.
Take that fight.
100%
Take
take
that money.
Take that fight.
So just do it. Yes, it might be. I don't think it's boring twice in a row. Do you think that fight's boring twice in a row?
No, Derrick had a bad back. My back is broken. Shout out to Mike Tyson.
God damn it. I've got vertebrae.
Where exactly is your back broken? It's broken. It's
vertebrae. Okay, Mike.
Okay, so on to the co-main, right?
This was a good fight. A little controversial.
Why?
Look, Jan thinks he was robbed in this fight. I think, and I love Jan, so I say this was the most respect possible. The right man won. You didn't get robbed. In my opinion, that was not a robbery.
So, something that I feel when you're watching Jan Blachowicz versus Alex Pereira, the guy who finishes the fight and goes like this.
That's a good, it's a big thing.
And then the guy that finishes the fight and drops
Who's
to
sitting.
his knees. And he's
exhausted.
But,
Jan was tired after round 1.
And I don't know why. I mean, Alex is a lot to handle. He really is. But we've seen Jan go 5 rounds.
Well, this was also in Salt Lake. Could that have had something to do with it? Jan was pretty tired versus Izzy.
Yeah.
I think he gassed out with the wrestling. I mean, he wins round 1 for sure.
Yeah.
Round 2 or 3, I might have them backwards. There's a second round where you could almost argue Jan wins as well. There's one round for both of them for sure.
Yeah.
And then 2 or 3 is the arguable round. And in that arguable round, all Jan really does is get like a minute of control time where he does nothing with it.
Yeah, you gotta.
You have to do something. You can't lay and pray. Alex is, he's making good shots. He's staying active. He's on the front foot the whole fight. Alex was, I think, a little gassed, obviously, after the first round too, but he kept on it. He kept on it. Alex had 6 seconds of control time somehow.
Well, can I be honest?
I'd like you to be.
After 5, they're all gassed.
Oh yeah.
Everyone is gassed. Like, you're not going to go in there for 5 minutes with a elite level fighter and not be a little tired. It matters how you persevere. It matters how you push through. I say this as a
Especially the bigger
casual.
boys.
I say this as a casual, but so what? Improvise, overcome, like
Adapt.
Come on, dude. And so,
Jan didn't change his game plan. Jan didn't.
well, he was. Do you remember what he was hitting Izzy with? He was like on the feet, like hitting him with
Yeah.
jabs and like Alex.
I really thought, like, I know Jan would probably want to use the wrestling more in this fight, but Jan is a championship kickboxer.
He's nice.
I thought there would be a little more of that,
He's nice.
but there just wasn't. I think Alex rightfully wins the fight. I think Alex. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say the next sentence because we got that coming up after the main card. Have we told the fans what we're doing after the main card?
We can let him in. We can let him in if you want.
So if you stick around, we're breaking down our 2 fantasy cards. You know, UFC's got the Make Your Match Matchmaker Sweepstakes.
What is that?
Where you build your own card from the bottom to the top, and you know, you send it in and maybe you win. But we're going to talk about our 2 that we came up with for fun after the next fight. Who's the next fight?
Sounds like
what
some
was the
fun.
next fight?
Well, the next fight is Dustin Diamond Poirier.
BMF?
Yeah. Well, it's for the BMF title. It's for the baddest motherfucker title.
Baddest motherfucker.
And it's Dustin the Diamond Poirier versus Justin the Highlight Gaethje. And Justin the Highlight Gaethje proved why he's the highlight.
And he got a highlight. In a first round was highly contested, a lot of fun. I hate it ended so early. Like, I'm not necessarily upset with the way it ended,
right?
But I wish this could have been like round 4 or 5 because
of course. Give me some attrition. Give me.
It was literally 1 minute in round 2 where he just lands the most beautiful, like, straight into a high kick combo you can see.
He, like, I think it was a jab. It might have been a cross, but, like, throws it,
and immediately throwing that kick.
Bink! And you just
Dustin leans into it, hits him perfectly, like, right in the back of the neck. I've never seen Dustin just crumple like that. Shout out to Dustin, though, because, like, he got crumpled, and he was up and alert pretty shortly thereafter. So that is tough motherfucker.
But he's not the baddest motherfucker.
He's not the baddest motherfucker right now. I'd love to see the third one of this.
I mean, I would love to see
We
that.
got to have a trilogy now.
But shouts out to Herb Dean for landing
the slide.
For landing the perfect people's elbow on DP. If you haven't seen this, YouTube it. I might put the link in the bio if I have it. But Herb Dean comes in and stops Justin because he head kicks him. Dustin falls. And then he goes and he hits him one more time. And Herb Dean's like, enough. Fucking
the slide. Dustin,
Goosh.
always a good sport after.
Oh, yeah, always. He didn't see it coming. He admitted that. Like, it's a tough loss.
We discussed it earlier, but this happened to Dustin as well. Dustin, like, in an interview the week prior said, Justin's going to have to catch me because if the fight goes the distance, I'm winning.
Yeah.
It's exactly what happened.
I think Dustin's better than Justin, but
I do too.
It just it doesn't matter. Like,
it doesn't always matter.
You're in there.
What does better mean really? Because, like, yeah, Dustin's probably got better technical boxing, but Justin has that something that's always made him a problem for everybody.
He's an anomaly. He's
Is he ever technically considered the better fighter? Like, technically speaking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In any of the fights he's been in.
I'll tell you this: he's never out of the fight.
No, he's never out of the fight.
He's never out of the fight.
But
so,
what a fight! It was fun.
I didn't see it coming. And that's a
I
fun.
definitely didn't see it coming.
That was a casual take for last week because
Dustin didn't see it coming.
I had Dustin didn't see it coming. So you have the surprise main event that shocked the world because it's like you don't see Dustin going out. Like he hasn't been finished in 7
No,
years.
no, yeah, it's insane. And I'm not even gonna like. I want to see what Dustin does after this. I hope that's not the last we see of Dustin. He's still only 34.
Yeah, yeah.
But what do you see next for Justin? There's the rumblings of a Connor fight,
I'd like to see that for the BMF. Honestly.
but does just I want to see it. I'd love to see it. Connor gets slept. Um,
He's fucking crazy, mate. What?
he's gonna get finished just the same way Dustin finished him.
Okay. Oh, you trying to make me mad or no?
I mean, if Michael Chandler could finish Connor, which was my other argument, Justin's definitely gonna finish Connor.
Connor grabs that BMF from Justin, and
And
then my
slurs
boy,
his way through a speech.
and then my boy Nate Diaz comes back and grabs the title that's rightfully so. How about that?
Ooh.
How about that?
That'd be a wild turn of events that are not going to happen.
All right. Let's go to the matchmaking shit.
Let's go. Are we going to start with mine or
Yeah.
yours?
Oh.
Because you know mine, so let's start with mine, I suppose.
Okay. Well, hang on.
Yeah.
Let me send you my real one.
Yeah, let me see.
I sent it to you.
I'm going to flip this camera off and on real fast.
Sure.
See if that fixes
Oh,
things.
you're brighter, huh?
There we go. There we go. All right. Yeah, let's see your card.
Let me know when you get it.
Where'd you send it?
Insta.
That's okay. That's why I was just sitting here like a goober. All right, let's take a look.
We're waiting his reaction.
This is a fucking joke, right? This has to be a joke.
Okay, all right.
No one's paying it. You'd have to pay me to sit through this card.
Let's
Are you showing that to everybody
I am.
for a split second?
I am.
That's foul.
You got Lauren Murphy versus Ariana Lipski. Come on, that's a high class fight. That's a women's flyweight. And then you got Amanda Lemos versus Zhao Nanyan. That's a strawweight banger. You got Mayra Buena Silva versus Ketlin Vieira.
I don't know either of them two.
I mean, you should. If you don't know, now you know. Women's
I know
featherweight.
now.
Chelsea Chandler versus Norma Dumont. I mean, I couldn't think of a better co-main. In my head, I couldn't think of a better co-main. And then for the main, you have Alexandre Pantoja versus Davison Figueiredo. What is wrong with you, dude? You're not a true MMA
this is one of the-
analyst.
If they put this card on, they'd lose money. They would not make the money back that they'd have to pay the fighters.
That's a spoof card. I'll send you the real one after we break down yours. I just had to get that out of the way.
Let's take a look at mine. My fantasy card. Where did it go? Here it is. All right.
It looks
This
good.
is fun. This would be an incredible card to watch. We're starting the night off. Dan Hooker versus Fiziev in a nice kickboxing lightweight matchup. Fun on the feet.
Mm-hmm.
High stakes, a couple guys kind of middle to the top of the rankings there.
Sure.
Should be a good show. Dan showed out in his last fight, so give him a step up in the ranking at least and see what happens.
He's nice
versus
with it.
Fiziev.
Yeah.
A couple kickboxing OGs right there. Then we'll move into a welterweight fight that I think will be a ton of fun. Kevin Holland versus Ian Machado Gary, undefeated. Another one that just screams banger to me. Kevin Holland, every time he fights, banger.
Mm-hmm.
Every Ian Gary fight I've seen, banger.
We watched one live.
We did. How long did it last? Like one round? Then he sleeped the dude?
I mean, he TKO'd him for sure.
Yeah. So that's a good fight. Um, I had to throw a women's fight on here. Let's give my girl Macy Barber a little step up in competition. Let's see if she's made it for the top of the card there.
She wants it.
Let's give her Shevchenko. You know, obviously I think Shevchenko's probably going to fight for a title next, but
I mean
it is what it is because this would be a fun fight. Whatever. Co-main for the light heavyweight championship of the world.
Wow.
Yuri Prochazka versus Alex Poatan Pereira. Kickboxing masterclass, 5 rounds. I want to see who's going to sleep. Should be a very fun one. Yuri with his very unorthodox kickboxing. Alex with his brutal left hand and just the way he sets things up. He sets you in traps. He adjusts. That's a fun fight. And then we're going to put my favorite fighter in the UFC active, Alexander the Great Volkanovski versus the Raging Bull, Ilia Topuria for the featherweight championship of the world. Ilia is on the rise. He's a fun fighter. This should be a slobber knocker. I mean, what Alexander Volkanovski fight isn't good?
I mean, you just said it. What Alex fight isn't good?
So that's my fun card.
That's a banger card.
I'd pay double for this card. I'd pay double.
I'd find the best stream possible for this card.
Crystal clear. This would be good. This is a fun thing the UFC's doing.
I like it.
Robert, I don't know. I don't even know what to expect from your card.
Well, I just sent it to you. So we're going to put the link in the bio so you can make your own UFC matchmaker. You can do your own matchup. My card opens with Chris Barnett versus Derrick Lewis.
Ooh,
I want some
fun boys.
I want some black on black crime when it comes to this card. Well, when it comes to this card, I want some heavyweight swing and bang. They are both way more athletic than they lead on.
Yes. Yes. A couple big boys.
Dude, Chris Barnett is throwing some fucking swinging, like, roundhouse kicks and shit.
Pereira type looking things.
Yeah, and so Derrick Lewis, just this past weekend, I got proof. If you go watch this Derrick Lewis fight, throws a flying knee. So, like, you can't tell me that both of these guys, they're hefty. They're hefty. But they are not too heavy to be the most exciting opening fight that I could think of on a main card, right? We're going back. Next, we have Paddy the Batty Pimblett versus Michael Chandler. When you think about the upper echelon of the lightweight division, with Michael Chandler finishing Dan Hooker, finishing Tony Ferg, getting the Conor McGregor fight, psych.
He should.
He should, but any given fight changes the day, all right?
It really does.
How a day makes a difference in MMA is crazy. I texted you that last weekend. How about how Derrick Lewis and how he's now on the main card and Michel missed weight. Like how much difference a day makes in this sport. So we go back and we got Paddy Pimblett versus Michael Chandler. It's still a big name, an English name, maybe not an Irish name, but it's a prospect versus a vet, and I think that's a banger of a card. We're not making picks necessarily, but this is a banger of a fight.
Oh yeah, this is a fun fight. Someone's probably going to sleep. Petty.
Whoa.
What was that? Did you hear that?
I think I heard that Paddy hits Michael with a flying triangle.
All right, we'll see.
Next fight. Somebody who was supposed to fight this last weekend.
Yes.
And didn't. Steven Wonderboy Thompson versus Ian Machado Gary. Now, I told you it was likely that we were going to pick the same dude. At least in one of these matchups.
Fight.
What is it about Ian Gary that you like?
He's that young up and comer, lot of steam. He's a good fighter. He's working his way up. He's not as well known, I feel like, as like, Patty or Sugar Sean,
Sure,
but he should be.
he's up
He
there.
should be. When it comes to these guys that are moving up the card quick, Ian Machado Gary is the real deal. And Holland or Stephen Thompson, like yeah, you could interchange those, dude. That's a fun fight no matter what.
I think so.
Yeah.
Next, you have John Bones Jones
In the co-main,
in the co-main because my main's too good. I'm sorry, my main's too good. Versus Tom Aspinall.
I want to see this fight. I do want to see this heavyweight fight.
John Jones versus Tom Aspinall.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know if Tom is ready for John, but I do know that John would give it his all.
Absolutely.
I think that John retires after Stipe. I don't think we'll ever see this fight. And this is why I went purely speculation,
but
purely fantasy card. I like
it's a
this
fun
card.
one.
I didn't mean to exclude any women. I'm right there. Equal rights, equal fights. But I could not bring myself to not put this particular fight on the main card. Like,
that's a fun one too.
And so I don't know who wins, but it's a fantasy, so we'll leave it up to fantasy. Next.
Talk about a fantasy is the main event.
Is it out of the realm of question? Yes, absolutely. But you have my boy Nick Diaz versus Israel Adesanya, probably for the middleweight strap, because he's not gonna fight anybody below the best. All right, and that's something about these Diaz brothers that they don't get. They're like, no, I want to fight the best. It's like, well, what are your rankings? And it's like, fuck
it doesn't matter.
The rankings don't matter.
Not when you're a name. Not when you bring in viewers. It doesn't matter. This is entertainment at the end of the day.
So when I put this main event together, Nick is not available for the 170 division. I don't know why. But
yeah, that was one thing I wanted to point out.
Sure.
My main event would have probably been Volk Islam too, so my boy could he could have got a second chance.
But you couldn't cross.
But you can't cross weight divisions here. So cross-pollinate, nice.
Yeah, 100%.
I think I would put Rose and Shevchenko. That would have been my women's fight as well.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, that would have been the women's fight.
That's a nice one.
Which she's going up to flyweight, right? That's what she's moving up to?
I think it's strawweight to flyweight, yes. She's
yes,
going up to
so
flyweight.
should have been mateable. But
until she fights, she's not going to be available in the flyweight rankings.
Yes.
But Nick Diaz deserves all of the paydays. He deserves the top spot. Like, what else is going to get him motivated to fight some number 16, number 17 ranked guy? I'll save it for his next fight. I'm really interested to see what his next fight is if he fights again. But I think fighting the best of the best is only going to bring out the best of Nick Diaz. And I'll leave it there. I had my little spoof card, but
it's a fun fantasy card for a reason.
This was my real deal, what I would put together as a UFC matchmaker. Now, I didn't submit this because, I got a lot going on. I'm not trying to go out to Vegas. I'm not trying to.
I'm trying to go out to Vegas. I'm trying to get a job. UFC, make me a real matchmaker. Hunter,
Dana, Nick.
Give us a call. Get the Couch Casuals on board.
And then our final part of the show. That was fun, but our final part of the show.
Final segment. Actually, I want to throw one little thing in regards to the Matchmaker Sweepstakes. We got the link below for you to do yours.
Of course.
Comment below. Tell us, would you buy these cards? Do you like these two cards? Would you watch them? Would you make changes? Let's discuss. Let's get a discussion going. A discourse, if you will.
We're always open for discussion.
Always.
Link in the bio, like you said. We're on to the final segment of the show. And that happens tonight. It goes down tonight. You have Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. Now, I'm in my Diaz gear, bro. I'm in my black t-shirt. I'm in the Nikes. It's going down. Like, you know I'm Team Diaz. As you just saw.
Always.
Team Diaz. How do you think this fight goes? It's a boxing match.
It is a boxing match. I really don't.
Careful.
I'm rolling with Nate. You know, he almost slept the welterweight champion of the world with a nice little slap into a straight combo. He's like slapped his head into the punch, which was amazing.
Yeah.
I just don't want. I can't take another MMA loss to Jake Paul. I mean, all these guys are older, so it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Nate can't use his strongest
weapon. Yeah. Which, it's not like kicks were his greatest stuff. It was basically his like jiu-jitsu game. If you took him down, he's gonna choke you out, right?
So we'll see.
My boy LP, my boy Logan Paul.
Oh, he's competing tonight too.
He's competing tonight. He's going to go beat Ricochet's ass, and then he's going to fly on the PJ to Dallas, and he's going to be there for the main event, which kind of worries me because it's like, when are they going to walk out? How long is this card going to be?
It's going to be a late fight.
Sure. I'm down. I'm going to take a
Because
nap.
SummerSlam starts at about 8 o'clock.
On the dot, and who's the curtain jerker?
You never really know.
It's LP versus Ricochet.
Have they said that?
That's what Logan requested, so he could
that
out,
makes sense.
And
it's the only way you could make it.
Yeah.
Because this is in SummerSlam's in Detroit, I think. So that's a few hour flight.
I think he has time.
Yeah, we'll see.
My question to you: we see the brother of Jake there. Do we see the brother of Nate there?
Oh, Nick's gonna be there.
You think so?
Oh, wouldn't he be? They ride together?
They do ride together. I haven't seen him all week. I might be blind, but I haven't seen him at any press conference. I haven't seen him at any interviews. But I can almost guarantee that Nick Diaz will be there for his brother, for his baby brother, he calls him.
I hope he is. Will Dana be there?
No, not a chance.
Dana's gonna be at a fight night tonight.
Well,
there's a decent fight night on tonight. There's a lot of combat sports going on tonight.
There's a
Corey
good
Sandhagen versus
Rob Font.
It's a solid fight night.
Was supposed to fight Umar Nurmagomedov, one of the Nurmagomedovs, and then he pulled out in classic Nurmagomedov fashion. Pulls out, and so Rob Font, shout out to him, steps up on short notice, shortish notice. Shout out to Corey Sandhagen.
Striker.
Yeah, shout out to this card tonight. I think Jessica Andrade is on this card.
Who is she?
I feel like if you can look it up real quick.
Yeah, let's look it up real quick.
It's going to be a good UFC fight night. Don't ever sleep on the UFC because
the fight nights are always very fun. It does always.
Always.
Okay, not always, but most of the time, fight nights are solid.
And if it's not a banger overall, you can
find. It's not a catch weight too.
You can find the bits and pieces within the whole card that are like, okay, I'll remember that fight, or I'll look at this guy. I'll look at this guy next time he fights.
Jessica Andrade, yes, versus Tatiana Suarez.
No, she gets WF'd. Straight up. Tatiana.
Which one?
Oh.
She gets Russell Fuck.
No. Jessica Andrade gets WF'd.
Okay.
Because Tatiana Suarez, I'm gonna go. What position on the card is that?
That's the co-main.
Okay, I'm going to go from SummerSlam, and then I'm gonna turn on the UFC. I think I got ESPN Plus. I'll stream it. Whatever. Get me.
I got ESPN Plus.
Get me. and then I'll turn on the Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. Can we make picks on that? But
Yeah, sure.
like solidify, like I have Team Diaz, you got Team Diaz, but like why?
Because I want and pray I can't have another MMA fighter lose. That's why. That's it. I don't know if Nate's boxing is as good as Jake's. Jake's not a bad boxer. Like, you can say all you want. He's a solid amateur boxer, but he's
How
making big money.
how old is Nate?
How old is Nate? Do
I
you
think he's
know?
38.
Let's look it up. Nate is 38.
Pow, 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 pow.
Ow.
He's been boxing since he was 16 years old. Like in a boxing gym, wearing the shoes, wearing the headgear, like moving around. Used to train with Andre Ward. Didn't give Andre like problems, but you're talking about an undefeated
Right.
world
Andre
champion.
Ward, yeah.
You're talking about his main training partner is Nick Diaz, who, if you guys don't know, I can put a fight or two in the bio. Nick Diaz is no joke. One of the, like, he was supposed to go professional box. It was in his Strikeforce contract. And then,
Oh, really?
yeah, it was
Yeah,
in his
no,
Strikeforce contract. And then the UFC bought out Strikeforce, and Dana doesn't play that shit.
ended that, unless you're Connor.
Yeah, unless you're Connor, which, whatever. Whatever, dude. Isn't he fucking awesome?
Connor, the notorious Luke. Dana losing his mind with that intro.
Dana Pink.
Dana, he knew. I mean, he followed that money.
He knows where the money's at, and he made a cool 20 mil, maybe 40 mil off of that. So shout out to Dana White. You know, you're always welcome on the Couch Casuals.
Always welcome. Open invitation to Dana, Tony, Connor, Justin, Dustin, Nate, Nick, Leon, Kamaru. It's everybody
Macy
except for
Barber.
Rhonda. Rhonda's not welcome on
No?
the show. No.
I'm gonna contact Rhonda's agents and stuff, and we're gonna get her on this show because I need her to check you real quick. Anyways,
Shayna Baszler's gonna choke her out tonight at SummerSlam.
and then what? And then she makes her return to the UFC.
Yeah, and probably gets clobbered by somebody.
Macy Chiasson.
Can you imagine Macy Chiasson getting a win over Ronda Rousey?
I don't want to. I don't want to.
I don't want to imagine that fight.
I had so much fun with you during this show.
I have one final question for you.
Okay.
About Jake, Nate. What are the odds we see a stop due to a cut?
Ooh,
That's got to be pretty high.
There's a lot of scar tissue.
A lot of scar tissue.
I'll go the over under. They're puffier gloves though. That's when you were talking about when he almost slept Leon. That's 4-ounce gloves. And then you have a war versus Conor McGregor. What was the maximum time limit on the second fight? 25 minutes.
Yeah.
This is 10 3-minute rounds.
30 minutes, okay.
It's longer than he's ever fought, which you're like, oh, well, if you know anything about Nate Diaz, he's a triathlete. He competes.
He's not going to tire out.
His cardio is top-notch.
There's not going to be any wrestling. There's going to be no jiu-jitsu. He's not going to tire out.
But you do have the jab, jab, hold method. You know what I'm talking about? Like where they get where they get to lock up for a couple seconds.
Yeah. I think there'll be a lot of that.
I think Jake looked skinnier on the scales, so I think he's going to rehydrate. Maybe 195, 200 pounds. Nate looked about like he ate a good bit.
He was ready to he's ready.
Heaviest he's
I don't
ever
know.
fought.
You know, the gloves are less protection for your head than they are for your hands, and I think the bigger gloves could potentially lead to, unless he's got the defense. You know, it helps with the defense, but it also could lead to more cutting, I would think.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I
We'll
believe
see.
that Nate is very elusive, despite like the tough boy image, like the gets hit with a lot of shots, so he can hit you with a lot of shots. I don't think, like, because he rolls with a lot too. He'll roll with the punches. I don't think it. I don't think it goes unscathed. I think Jake can land some. He landed punches on Anderson Silva. Now, if you go back in the day and look at Forrest Griffin throwing his little pity patty against Anderson Silva, like you don't
He's in the
land punches on
Matrix.
Anderson, but he's not the Spider anymore.
No, he's not the Spider
And
of
so
old.
Nate is Nate. He's had a layoff since Tony, which is coming up on like a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think that he gets cut the fuck up. Like it's not gonna be like because you have no elbows, you have no kicks, you have no 4-ounce gloves. I don't know what Jake's gloves are gonna be made out of, whether they have horsehair in them or like what the contract negotiation was. But you're right, like they're big, puffy, hard gloves.
Yeah.
And being a Diaz brother, if you know the history of any of their fights, they don't go unscathed. So it's like, where's the cut gonna go? Most of their scar tissue is above the eye.
It's like goggles around the eye almost.
So you don't need a bad cut because the ref will stop it, and that will be a TKO for Team Paul. And I don't want that. You don't want that. Us as fans, we don't want a premature stoppage. Let these guys swing and bang for 10 rounds, 30 minutes, and I see Jake getting stopped. That's what I see.
I hope so. I'd love to see that.
The endurance, the endurance, as much as people say it's like in favor of Nate, I don't think so. I think boxing is go, go, go for 3 minutes. You have to go. And Nate knows that, but his body is built for the long haul. And I could easily see Jake up 6 rounds on Nate. Just playing the game. Just playing the game. Like he's not going to do anything special. Like he can land all the body shots he wants. I think that would be wasted effort as far as going to the body on Nate without them being kicks. Like when Masvidal went to the body on Nate, you could just tell he was hammering the kicks in. Just boom, boom. Jake's punches with the fluffy gloves.
Not going to be like that.
It's just not going to be like that.
Not going to be near that.
Not at all. You're talking about swinging baseball bats to the ribs.
Yeah. I don't think if Nate win or if Jake wins this decision, I don't see any outcome where Jake finishes Nate other than a cut, which is not really finishing somebody, right?
No.
If Nate wins, I could see it being a finish or a decision. I think Nate has better avenues or more avenues of victory, but I think Jake's point win is very, very possible as well.
That's what worries me, you know?
Yeah. We'll see.
We will see. And we will see tonight. And
tonight, SummerSlam, Jake, Nate, Fight Night, AEW in Greenville. That's where I'll be. I'll watch all this stuff after.
So much combat sports, or so many combat sports.
Love it.
So many events. We have been the Couch Casuals, and you yourself are always invited to the Couch Casuals.
Please sit on our couch, watch some fights, hang out, crack a beer, get a pizza, sit on the couch.
And
a lot of you sit on this couch before.
Yeah, 100%.
He sat on that couch.
I've sat on that couch, and I watched Alex versus Islam. It was such a banger of a fight. I think Alex won, but that's neither here nor there. Too. We have to do it again soon. We'll probably bring you.
We need to do another one soon.
Yeah, we'll bring you something of that manner, entertainment wise, like content wise. Until then, we'll probably do what? We'll probably see you the next pay-per-view, right?
August 19th.
And we'll break down
Sugar Sean versus Aljamain Sterling.
Woo!
It's going to be an interesting one to break down.
We'll break it all down for you, and I'll probably lie in my sorrows if Nate Diaz loses tonight. So we'll see. But
we'll see.
I'm your host, Robert Dylan Vasquez, and this is my co-host, the host with the most. I'm holding him hostage.
With the bragging rights of this week, Kyle Diorio, baby.
We'll see you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.